Hello and welcome to Tibbo Talks. Today I am joined by a very special guest. It is actor, musician, and social media star BYRON Langley. Hello,
Hey, what's
how
up?
are you doing, BYRON?
I'm so good, Tibbo, you legend. Thanks for having me on.
That's all right. Thank you for joining us. That's really good
Sure.
to have you on. Um, so yeah, I think we'll get straight into it really. So for the people who may not know you, what is? Please just introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure there's many, millions who have no idea who I am. But I'd say first and foremost, I'm a musician. I make music. And also like to make content, stuff on Instagram, stuff on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I write songs for myself and others and release them, and yeah, make stupid short comedy videos online.
Yeah, I'm sure many people have seen them. They're very, very good.
Thanks.
So where did the this whole journey begin for you? Back in the days of small Byron, where did it all begin for you?
Oh, it was, I'd say the music was very small, Byron. I was about 6 years old when I learned to play the drums. I say learn to play the drums. I learned to play your very basic beat, if you could hear that. And that sort of progressed into like a very minor understanding of
Mm,
drums. But I guess whenever you learn something really young, it really sticks with you.
yeah,
So drums came quite naturally to me as a teenager and things like that. Also, my father played drums, so that helped. And then I learned the guitar when I was about 13. And yeah, the mix of those two was always something I was very interested in. And the content side of things and maybe the like social media aspect came much later in life.
yeah.
I was lucky and completely randomly cast in a movie when I was 16 years old and had absolutely no ambition in acting whatsoever. I wanted to be a cricket player.
Mm,
So this was like a completely foreign set to be on when you're in front of cameras and all I know is cricket bats and fielding. And I think, yeah, that's probably where the interest in that began was
yeah.
from a movie set and
Mm,
anything I wanted to do performance wise.
yeah, that's pretty interesting how it began with cricket as well, because obviously you're from Cape Town, so
Yeah,
I'm sure cricket was quite big where in your area in that time.
definitely. Yeah, I'd say cricket's maybe South Africa's second or third biggest sport.
Mm,
Um, and it's also hot all year round. So you can play cricket all year round. Obviously, you can't
yeah.
play it in training and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely a big part of growing up. And South Africa was the team I wanted to play for. But alas, the talent.
The dream's still alive.
Yeah, all the talent never got me there, unfortunately. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, so you've obviously with cricket, you've done loads over the time. You've done YouTube, you've done music, you've done acting as well. Out of them all, like what's been your favorite? Which one have you enjoyed the most, or would you like a few more of a taste of?
I'd say definitely like more of a taste of the acting world. I feel like that is it's a very high barrier to entry. It's quite a hard industry to crack. So you have to do bit parts and like one-liners and do roles where you die the same scene you're introduced into the movie because like they don't really care what happens. So that's good.
Yeah.
So those are the parts I'm generally, or at least mostly in the beginning, auditioning for, and even to the stage of auditioning
Mm,
for. So yeah, to get to that part or that stage where you're playing really big characters and things like that, that would be
yeah.
really nice to indulge in a bit
Mm.
more of. Cricket, I think that ship sailed for me, unfortunately.
You never know. You never know.
Who knows? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
probably not.
you've had some pretty famous friends as well, with obviously Joe Sugg featuring in one of the West End shows a few years ago as well. So
That's right. Yeah, he was waitress. He was
mm,
Ogie.
yeah,
That's
that's it.
right. Yeah,
I
he smashed
really
it.
really enjoyed watching his videos on that. He's a true inspiration of mine. So
Oh, nice one. Excellent. Did you go watch the West End show?
I wasn't able to watch the West End show, but I was of course following his Strictly journey as well, along with his
Nice.
vlogs that he did behind the scenes as that. So, but
Yeah, he's the master of that.
absolutely, he's the master of many things.
Yeah.
On the topic of acting, obviously you featured in various series over the time. Spud, for example, back in 2010. Haven't heard of it myself, but more notably, and I think people will recognise you for, is Kissing Booth.
Yeah.
More recently in from 2018 or 2020, whenever it was released. How did it feel to be part of such a big series, which blew up on Netflix?
Yeah, I mean, when we filmed the first one, that was also one of those ones where I auditioned for a bit part, kind of just like one liner here and there. And when we filmed the first one, I think no one you thought it was going to be a huge movie at all. Even when it like its first week of release, I think you're all like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like for the first, that was the first thing I'd ever been on Netflix. So I was like, "That's so cool to like go onto Netflix, log in, and watch something where I appear on the screen." And then afterwards, I think it had a lot to do maybe with the main characters being in a relationship in real life, so that once you watch the movie, you got like so into the story of them being together. And then it was also the thing in real life that it just like went huge on social media, and that obviously propelled its success. I think it's like the in the top 10 for the most rewatched Netflix production ever, or something ridiculous like
I've
that.
certainly watched it more and more times over the years. I first watched it in lockdown, and it was I really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's BYRON. Of course, I've watched them since, including the third one, which came out last year, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there going to be a Kissing Booth 4? Do we know?
I don't think so. If there is, I was none the wiser, and I'll watch it and be like, "Oh, that would have been cool." But no, I don't think so. I think they've nipped that one in the bud now.
Yeah. Acting, something you've obviously said you want to hopefully have a bit more of a taste of. What sort of like side would you go into? Would you go more screen acting or more like theatre plays kind of side?
I think hey, good question. When I was younger, I loved being on stage, and I mean, when I was in so we call it matric in South Africa, which is your final year. So whatever your final year of ever being in a high school is in the UK. A friend of mine put on the director put on a production like outside of school, just our own one in a theater, and we hired it out and we did the whole thing and we sold tickets and people came and watched, and that was such an unbelievably fun experience. And there's something nice and tangible about being on stage that you don't really get from being on screen. So I love that aspect of it. I feel like on screen, I don't know, it's a bit difficult. I haven't had that much experience with it, so I don't think I'm even 100% comfortable being on in front of camera and stuff like that, unless it's like with my friends and stuff like that. But when you're in front of 100 crew members and you have 4 cameras on you and a mic that's like picking up your every breath, then it's it can be quite pressurizing. But if I had to choose, I'd probably say I'd like to give the screen more of a go. Hey, who knows?
Yeah,
I'd be grateful for either, really.
Absolutely, yeah, that's pretty interesting. That actually, like, if I had the opportunity, I'd probably go for also screen acting, because I think I'd like perform a lot better without the audience live in front of me. So I'd have to agree with you in that. Not following in the footsteps of Joe, even though he has done some voice acting in the past.
That's right, yeah.
Along with Casper.
Are you into acting yourself?
No, I'm not really big on acting. I've got many friends that are big on acting, and I think they'll go very far. But yeah, I'm not too big on acting. I mean, my dancing is debatable, so is my singing. Nothing more than that, unfortunately.
All right, cool.
Moving just quickly on to YouTube. Obviously, it was quite a big, iconic group, I'd say so. Back in the days of before COVID and everything, you were known as the Buttercream Squad, was it?
That's it. Yeah,
the Buttercream Squad. I must ask, where did the inspiration for that name come from? If you know, of course.
Gosh, I think it was like from 2015. I think it was like a group WhatsApp name first, and that became like the name of the group. How it actually came about, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it was like in 2015 or so. So we're looking at like nearly a decade ago.
I know it's been a long time since, like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A long time. Do you guys still keep in contact?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone chats all the time online and see each other fairly regularly. So yeah, definitely a good friend. No one's been extradited or.
That's good to hear. I was certainly a big fan of all your videos in the past. So yeah, so like you've had some pretty notable moments on that topic in terms of your videos and stuff. You've done videos alongside Joe, Josh Peters, Casper, and all the gang. What moment do you feel was like most enjoyable and the biggest for you and the most notable?
I think just purely on enjoyment, I really enjoyed when Joe did a Vlogmas series in like
Mm.
2018 or 19. I'm sure you know how it works, but every day of December we
Yeah.
vlog. And that was just lots of fun because he was so good at structuring vlogs to have like a gift you opened in every episode, and
Mm.
there was always like small traditions, I guess, that had
Mm.
to happen every day. And the way he incorporated all those kinds of things was
Mm.
obviously very easy to be a part of because I just had to
Yeah.
exist while
I
he
was
did
gonna
it
say
for
you,
work.
you were roommates with him at the time, weren't you?
Yeah,
For the majority of it.
that's it. And I
Mm.
mean, he did like Christmas Day, he did like
Mm.
everything, and that was a good time. I'd say that
Yeah.
was the most fun and probably sticks out the most in that whole
Mm.
YouTube
That's really good.
journey.
Would you
Yeah,
say that that sort of period of time was when most your current audience would have like kind of grown with you? Would you say?
definitely. Yeah, I think prior to that, when I had moved to the UK, before I'd moved to the UK and South Africa, I was doing a YouTube channel with a friend there. I gained like maybe a smallish following
Mm.
from the Spud movies, which is just a series that was big in South Africa. And then obviously when I came over and getting exposed to a much bigger audience, I was definitely
Absolutely.
where most of the following came from, 100%.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. Will we see anything sort of a collab with you guys all together again, or has it
I
reached its
hope so.
ultimate
Yeah.
conclusion? Because
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know, I know Josh is definitely still doing YouTube full time, but I think a lot of dudes um, I don't think it's ever been retired or given
yeah,
up. It's definitely not. I mean, I think they used to upload
mm,
like 4 times a week, 5 times,
mm,
probably more than that. They had like 7, 8 different channels.
yeah,
Obviously, that slowed down a bit, but who knows? There
mm.
might be
Who knows?
the
Yeah, 'cause,
the reunion video.
yeah, everyone's gone off their separate ways. You've got Josh and Archie doing all sorts of
That's
pranks
it.
on the internet.
Oh,
They're
of course, yeah.
very
Um,
creative what they're doing.
Definitely,
And
I love their videos. All of them,
yeah,
they're so good to watch. So well structured. The storytelling's excellent.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
then you've
nice.
got Casper and Amber doing all the Margravine stuff and influencer stuff, which is also great to see because I think he's doing really well at it as
Yeah,
well. So
definitely. Casper is like a business mogul. He's
mm,
got his margarine stuff. I've run out of how many businesses he does, but
mm,
yeah, he's very busy and doing super well at it. So yeah, good
yeah,
for him. Sure.
yeah, that's really good. Like me, you are obviously a Fulham fan.
Definitely, yeah.
How did you become a Fulham fan? Basically, I'm asked it all the time. So
Of course.
what sold Fulham to you?
So prior to moving to the UK, I'll completely honest, football wasn't the sport I'd always watch.
Mm,
And I had a roommate from South Africa whose father was born in Fulham,
mm,
and Fulham was probably is, at least from my perspective of him, the biggest part of his entire life.
mm.
And it was so infectious and so I was, yeah, I guess exposed to it so much that I just started naturally following them. And then
Mm.
now I definitely am, I would consider myself 100% a Fulham fan
Absolutely.
over like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
So I've seen promotion, relegation, promotion,
Yeah.
relegation, promotion, relegation.
Hopefully we can stop that this season for sure.
Yeah, of course. And it
Mm.
also, I mean, I hear the Craven Cottage Stadium because I live
Mm.
really close to it. If I'm playing cricket, I play cricket for a club nearby, and we can
Mm.
hear the chanting going on. Like it feels like Fulham is 100% either
Yeah,
from my
that's really good. Yeah. What do we reckon for the game tomorrow night against Villa?
um, I think we good. Like they're obviously not having the best start to the season, and they
Mm.
haven't scored that many goals. So we'll see what happens. I feel like they were what we were doing the last time we were in the Prem, where we kept
Mm.
like never scoring. So I think we
Yeah.
like double the amount of goals. I don't know if that makes much of a difference. Home game as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, the 7:30 should be good.
I'm
Hopefully we
hoping
take
for a
it.
3-1 victory, I reckon.
Oh damn!
I'm
Okay,
being very confident.
the Metro hat trick. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, of course, doing FPL wonders. Um,
Oh
so
god.
music is obviously the biggest thing that you are known for now. You've released lots of music since your first EP in 2018. Which tracks, like out of all the ones you've released over the years, is you feel is your favorite?
Hey, good question. I mean, the one I listen to the most, it's a weird one because, I mean, you spend time writing songs and making them, and by the time they're out, like, I'm sick of listening to them completely. But one that I'd always go back to and listen to is one called West Side,
Oh
um,
yeah.
which is probably the most like random out of all of them because it sounds like quite a heavyish rock song, and the others are like these, I don't know, kind of light pop songs. So yeah,
Yeah.
that for me is one that I can get amped into. Yeah,
West Side was always one of my personal favorites as well.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I really enjoyed listening to that, especially when it came out as well. It's still on my playlist on Amazon Music as well. So
Oh, classic. Good to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, but I love great song. Is there any of your songs which you would actually unrelease and try to improve?
Yeah, so it's so funny. West Side is one that I've unreleased. So it's
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite. But there's a couple that I have unreleased. There's three, I think. And they're the ones that are kind of the biggest genre whiplashes. And that was just purely on an algorithm choice, I guess.
Mm,
You have obviously music is something creative, but you also have to respect the tech and things that go into who can actually listen to your music via algorithms
yeah.
and stuff like that. And I feel like if I'm too much of a genre whiplash going on,
Mm,
the one person who may have liked one song will be isolated from the West Side song that's our rock song, and they're
mm,
like, "What? I don't know who this guy is." Like, I thought
yeah.
I liked the songs, and then I don't like these. So the ones that I felt were too different, I just took
Mm.
down.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good thing as well, because obviously having a mixed kind of genre of music is it's good to see from one artist as well, because obviously different genres of music for different people. You've got many big artists which do different genres, and
Yeah, of
it,
course.
it's pretty good. Are there any of your songs which have a deep meaning for you, or like an
Sorry, you just cut out there a bit. Of any songs got?
oh, have any songs got a bit of a personal meaning to you?
Yeah, I guess the first ones. I guess a lot of them, the overarching theme is about never really like, I don't know. You always want to have. I'm sure this is consistent with a lot of people. Is like finding that you want to be successful at such a young age, and I
Mm,
feel like that's obviously advertised to you massively by those who are already so successful and you compare themselves
yeah.
to you on your phones and stuff. So a lot of them was me trying to like navigate that.
Mm,
And I think that's the overarching theme on most of the stuff that I write about now. So
yeah.
I'll probably change that up because I've don't really have that mindset as much
Mm,
anymore. I feel like I've grown out of that a bit.
yeah.
Um, I also don't want to keep hammering the same thing over and over.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's
Um,
understandable.
yeah, so I'd say that that's probably the
Mm,
overarching meaning of
yeah.
everything.
One of my personal favorites is In Tune.
Oh, there, dude.
I really enjoy that one. It's
Nice one.
yeah, it's got a special place in my heart.
Well, there you go.
um,
That's one of them where you don't want to get left on the docks while everyone
mm,
else is on the boat, kind of thing.
I know. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So,
that's very good. Yeah.
uh,
You've just released your second proper EP, Believing Lately.
that's the
What's
one.
been the overall reaction to it?
Yeah, not too bad. I think for this time around, I've just gone for like a bit of a different approach, and it's called a waterfall release. So instead of putting all the songs out at once, I just put one out a month, and you
Mm,
just try to draw out the release over a few months rather than like one day being like, hey, there's
mm,
everything. And yeah, so far so good. I think 21 days. This is quite of a random one, but it's my first song to receive like a fair amount of radio play. And it's the two main countries that have been playing it are Russia and Ukraine right now. So it's like at least there's one thing they can
I was
agree
gonna say that's a
on.
slightly random selection of countries amid the
Very
circumstances as well.
random, yeah. So hey, I'm not. I won't argue why too much. I just thought that was a funny grouping right now, but that one's done quite well. And then the initial song I released called Run, that one's gone down pretty well. The others are just kind of like EP release songs.
Yeah.
I like them. But yeah, hey, it's been going okay.
If Russia and Ukraine could agree on something, it would be that Byron Langley's music is certainly something to dance to.
Yeah, the guys, can't we just get along to the song?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Bye to Byron Langley. There we go. War's over. Yeah, out of all those songs in your EP, which one did you feel you enjoyed producing the most?
I'd say, oh gosh, the first one, Run. I enjoy that. I like songs generally that are driven by acoustic guitar, and production wise, I feel like it's quite easy to build a song once you have a solid acoustic guitar section down. It really fills out the song. And yeah, you can be quite creative with what you add to acoustic guitar in general. I mean, you're so used to hearing acoustic guitar and singer-songwriters by itself. But if you can kind of like contrast that with something electronic or something along those lines, yeah, it's quite interesting. And that was one for me that I probably enjoyed producing the most.
Do you see an improvement in your music as well since right from the beginning? Do you feel you've improved over the years?
I hope so. I mean, the ones I was writing, the first time I ever started actually recording and producing music was like in 2018. And when I listen to those now, it's like I don't even know what I was thinking. Because I remember at the time of making them, I remember listening to them being like, "Oh, this is quite good." And now I listen to them and I'm like, I can't even tell if this is a song or not. I can't like figure out what is happening. It's just cacophony. So I'd like to think I've improved from that. But yeah, I think there's a nice saying I like where the first 20 hours you spend on anything will be the biggest improvement you ever find on that, from 0 to 20 hours. And then everything after that and going to mastering it is very slow improvements. So I think I got that first 20 hours out.
That's pretty interesting. That's a pretty good piece of advice there as well, actually. So
yeah, hey, like anyone who wants to learn guitar or piano, like those first 20 hours will be really hard, but you'll never have gotten better from absolutely nothing to that point. At least that's what I've read and stuff like that. I don't take my word for it, but
I would certainly say you've improved.
Thanks.
Are we seeing any glimmers of an album anytime soon, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely do it. I think that the climate of music right now is, especially with smaller artists, putting out albums is quite difficult to promote 13 songs and to try and get as much coverage over all of them. I think the game plan of a lot of people now is just to release singles. So you might have 13 songs as an album, but instead of putting them out, you'll go, hey, let's do 3 EPs and release them one song at a time or something like that. Whereas big artists like Ed Sheeran and those dudes, they have a massive fan base who are waiting for those albums. So yeah, I think it's easier as you get bigger. But even with them, you can see them dropping singles all the time. I feel like that's maybe the territory we're going into more and more as playlists and Spotify and Amazon Music playlists become more and more curated and more algorithm based. You're going to try to write songs for them more. And TikTok as well. Like I can see people writing songs for like trends happening on TikTok within a week, and then using that trend to promote their song. Like so who knows? Maybe an album one day, but
maybe. Have we got any more singles on the way?
I got one in the bank still. Otherwise, I was planning on writing in the next year's songs over December. December is historically not the best time to release music. People are listening to Christmas songs and getting Mariah Carey out and like
get out the Shaking Stevens again.
So that's a good time for me to at least write. Also, I don't have to worry about like other things so much. Then everyone's kind of chilling out and not working so much. So who knows? I'll probably look to try and write as much as possible. And otherwise I got one song unreleased for this year. I might just put it out next year as we are in December and stuff. But we'll see what happens.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I do believe the music industry is also sort of becoming algorithm based as well, as you said. Because obviously I think everything's a lot more influenced on the media nowadays, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not a bad thing. I like it, honestly. Like if I can go into Spotify and they've given me a full-on playlist of like this you'll like because you like this. I found most of the artists I listen to these days from those. So it's a double-edged sword, and also it's a lot easier to get discovered off a playlist that a computer's randomly given someone, rather than them happening to fall upon your Facebook advert or your Instagram page, and then that feels like a more of a traditional way. Even though that was only the case like a few years ago, that kind of feels old even. So
that's very interesting. If you had to pick This is quite a random question out of the blue.
Hey,
If you had
bro,
to
yeah.
pick a drink, a main, and a side, what is your go-to McDonald's order?
Oh man, since I was 6 years old, you guys don't have Milo here, do you?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's like I think it's originally Australian, but it's like a chocolate milk. But do you
Mm.
have Nesquik?
Oh yeah, we have Nesquik. That's it.
So it's like powdered Nesquik almost, but Milo is like a very specific flavor.
Mm.
And since I was like 6, I've probably had about 100 Milo milkshakes, which is maybe not the most rock and roll thing in the world, but that
Yeah.
would be my drink starter. Calamari all the way. Big fan of calamari with some sweet
Mm.
chili. And main mac and cheese, man.
Yeah.
Um, very, very basic, I know. But if Michelin star restaurants, if they have mac and cheese, that is still getting chosen over like whatever the chef's expertise are. So yeah, what about you?
Mac and cheese is a favorite then.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, I'd have to go, well, for McDonald's anyway. I mean, I'm gluten free, sadly, so
Okay,
um,
I
I
get
have
you.
to remove the bun from anything I eat, sadly, from Mackey's. It's quite depressing when you think about it, but
Oh
at least I
god,
can eat them. So
I
my,
get you.
my meal would
Yeah.
have to be a double quarter pounder with cheese, just no bun.
Damn.
And
Nice.
then obviously strawberry milkshake or banana, depends what mood I'm in.
Nice. Yeah.
And also obviously fries and stuff. So
Hey, good man, bro. Yeah, I feel like the bun is 99% air anyway, so
mm,
you
yeah,
don't worry
exactly.
about it. You're not missing much. What happens if you eat the bun? You get sick.
Yeah, I don't really know what happens, but I think I get quite ill. So
Oh gosh, okay, sweet. So
yeah,
you haven't tested it, or or you
no,
didn't
no,
find out through eating gluten. You just know.
yeah, but hopefully I haven't eaten gluten or will eat gluten anytime soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, with regards to social media, Nick, you've now got a pretty big following, over 200,000 on Instagram alone. You've recently been posting lots of Instagram reels, which seems to have blown up in the algorithm world as well. Lots of, I'd say, quite comedic content on there. The reaction seems quite positive. How was it for you in terms of releasing that content?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It came off the back of starting a TikTok page. I want to say like October or August last year.
Mm,
Um, like TikTok was a very foreign app up until that point for me. I had no idea what anything meant. Like I know it's all very audio driven and sounds
mm,
and things like that. And I remember going through it. I mean, like, what is half the stuff I'm watching? Like, I didn't quite understand it. And my management company, and I was just like, why don't I try create a TikTok a day for a month and see what happens?
mm.
Uh, and obviously, the first ones I ever put out were completely trash. Like, I didn't even know what was it like. What was a TikTok video? And I was making like 2 minute long videos, and dudes are like, "Dude, I'm not
Mm.
watching even a second of that. What are you doing?" After like 30 days, there's your 20-hour rule again. Like, obviously, the first 20 hours I learned the most. So, um, yeah, I feel like after the 30 days, I got the following up to about like 70,000 followers on there, just doing like very short based videos.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, I keep doing this stuff. Music's not really getting done because I keep thinking of like TikTok videos. So
Mm.
after my 30-day challenge, I was like, okay, enough of that. And then I did the music, wrote the EP, the Believing Lately one. And then it came time to promote it. So I was like, okay, let me get going with TikToks again. This was like May or June this year.
Mm.
And I did the same thing, trying to do one a day. And they started to do quite well on TikTok this time around. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, damn, why don't I just repurpose those, put them on Reels? And
Mm.
that's how that what you've been watching came about.
Yeah.
Just the ones that tend to do the best on TikTok.
Mm.
I move on to Reels. Some dudes like them. Some say this is boring. I don't care. I just enjoy making them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I found I really enjoy the process of making these videos. And
Mm.
if they do well or not has just been something I've learned to not really care
Yeah.
about.
I
Yeah.
think it's good sharing content across two platforms as well, because obviously you never know how it's going to change, whether TikTok or Instagram is going to be the dominant social
Yeah, of
media. So
course. Hey, nail on the head there. Who knows? I mean,
yeah.
they're all fighting each other at the end of the day. So, and yourself, do you do the TikToks and stuff?
I don't release TikToks that often. If they are, they're just following trends or really releasing like silly videos or whatever. So,
Nice.
but I don't really have a massive following on TikTok. I used to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
which I will upload this interview to,
Nice.
because I've formalized it a lot more now. I used to post silly challenges, vlogs and stuff, content on there. I used to go off whatever was going on in the world, even if it seems
not a bad
stupid.
thing at all, bro. Following the trends is the best way to. Why not make content people are already searching for?
Yeah, people seem to enjoy them as well. Or
yeah, exactly. You're doing the right thing.
Memes out of them. But that's expected.
Huge.
Pardon?
Podcast, this kind of stuff is huge now. So you're doing right.
I tried starting a podcast last year, but it didn't materialize. So hopefully this little mini Tibbo talk series can now go somewhere.
Nice one, dude. Yeah, well, I'm glad to have been part of it, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously you've had a pretty exciting journey, as we've heard. Obviously, apart from music and acting, what else is left in the future? What's coming up? What more future plans do you have?
I think just carry on doing content in general. I think content is king for whether you're starting a business, whether you want to educate people, like whatever it is you're doing, just do it online. Do it. Like I'm a big Gary V fan. I don't watch all of his videos, but he's everywhere, so he's hard to avoid, even if you like him or not.
Yeah.
But he's very much a case of when he speaks to businesses and stuff like that. He's just like, come across as a content creator instead of saying I'm a business and that's how you advertise. Just be a dude who's just posting content as if he's just posting content. So I'm just going to carry on doing that, and hopefully that can be a funnel into the music stuff I'm doing. I enjoy making content in general. There's obviously opportunities that come with that. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing the TikTok thing, keep doing the reels. If it crashes and burns, hey, like I said, I really enjoyed the process of doing it more than anything else. So it's no harm or anything like that. So
that's good. Hopefully it doesn't crash and burn. You seem to be doing very well so far.
Oh, cheers, dude. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any advice, like one bit of advice you would give to your future self or anyone out there who is needing advice? What would one key bit of advice give?
I mean, the biggest key of advice I would have given myself, that I'll continue to give to myself in the future, is just start. I think the reason I took so long to start doing TikTok and Instagram and stuff, I had all these ideas bubbling in my head, but I just never started. I always had the idea, but it never came to the point I was like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. So just take that step, take that action. I think action. There's another quote I like, that motion creates emotion. So by getting going, you're going to get exactly to where you want to be going. So yeah, that would be my thing. Just start. Very easy to remember.
Yeah, very, very good advice there, I'd say. So I think we'll begin to wrap it up there. Is there anything else you would like to mention?
Oh no, just let's get Fulham into the Champions League top 4.
Champions League's on its way, hopefully.
But yeah, otherwise, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. It's been lovely. It's been lovely talking to you, and I hope all you guys watching or listening have enjoyed it too. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, BYRON.
Hey Tibbo, anytime.
Cheers.
See you, dude. Cheers.